I've been doing this bank for quite a long time, and it's been on quite a few videos and shorts, but today I want to finish it. It's just this little top bit here, just this end really, and a bit at the back, and all this is finished here, all this bit, so I was just like just there really. So I just need a few more turfs, some buckets of slop. All the bits I've done have set nicely, so I can put another row on top. So this one's here most recently, just needs some probably more slop there, a few more turfs there, and maybe 2 or 3 turfs there, so maybe kind of 4 turfs altogether, and then just fill it up, make it set, and then I can plant native trees on here, because this is all part of little woods here. Usually I make these banks to divide land up, but this is in a woodland, just a thin strip of woodland, and by having a footpath either side of it, it should make the woodland feel bigger, because it's a really narrow woodland. So here it's just going to be in a woodland rather than dividing land, but it's also dividing where the rainwater goes, because everything this side goes into a pond over there, and everything this side goes into a swamp over there. So it's like a watershed, and firstly I've got to get some buckets of slop. Here is my current slop quarry, which is just somewhere where I mixed topsoil with water, and this is some stuff that I've mixed earlier, and it's all oh, come on then. So I've mixed it earlier, and it's oh, just a minute. Right, and it's sort of got like all squelchy and everything. It's very good for squishing between turfs and things. So just dig this up, but because there's been no rain for so long, this will need topping up. So when I shovel this stuff up, before I can dig any more, I'm going to have to get some pond water to top it up with. Normally at this time of year it would just be topped up by the rain, but there just hasn't been any significant rain. So it will need topping up. But look at this stuff here compared to that stuff. This is the topsoil I've just broken up with a pickaxe, and it's like in sort of squishy lumps. It's sort of quite pliable. It's good to like it holds together well. Whereas this stuff here, which is like just where we've been walking, it's like just complete gloop. It's very difficult to build a kind of surface with it on a slope, because it will just like collapse. But it's very good for getting between bits and putting it underneath the turf, so it just sort of takes away all the air pockets. It's a really good stuff. So sometimes, depending what I'm doing, I collect this separately, and it's just very useful to have it to hand. But this stuff is better to kind of bash into place, and if you sort of squish that, it can hold together quite well, depending on how much water's in it. Depends on how high you can make it, but there's usually about kind of 8-10 inches or maybe more before it sets, and then when it sets, then you can put another layer on. But of course today we're just doing just the very top bit, so all the other bits are set, so hopefully I should be able to finish it, and then sort of the middle bit I can fill in with some more of this stuff, and hopefully we can get it all done today. But first I'm going to dig up this kind of lumpy stuff here, because this is what I'm going to need most of to fill up the existing gaps between turfs that I left to set last time. And it's been here for a little while, so there's quite a lot of the ultra slop mixed in with it, and it's very kind of gloopy and very pliable. Because if the turfs are saturated, you can just squish them together, but it's very rare that they're actually like that. But if there was more rain and I was just taking turfs here instead of cutting it, then these turfs would be kind of saturated, and then with such turfs you could just sort of bash them a bit, they just squish together. But usually you have to do some kind of adhesive with this wet gloopy mud. That's always kind of available. This bit's going to be a main kind of driveway path, little like a country lane thing, and I think it's just going to be hardcored. I don't really hardcore paths apart from the main ones, or just little bits that get muddy. because I try not to add anything that's not naturally here if I can help it, and I try and make them all with different grades of mud, because as they go down in the soil you find quite gravelly bits and they make quite good paths, and they're just like naturally from here. The paths that aren't used very much don't tend to get muddy. It's really just the main paths that get muddy. Yes, so normally it would be like just so full here, but just no rain, so I have to top it up from the pond. So we get these last little bits in there, like that, and then go along the edge and get all these last little bits. And before I can cut any more, I'm going to need to get some pond water. Usually at this time of year, getting water from the pond is not necessary, and if I needed it, it's just very easy. I could just sort of scoop it up from here. But it's also so low because of the lack of rain this year. Normally this would be about so deep, but still hasn't risen up here yet. There just hasn't been enough rain. But thankfully this is very deep here, so there's tons of water for the fish. But the more you've got to climb down, the more of a performance it is. And then it's getting it up here, usually one at a time here, and then just one foot there and just swing it a bit, and then I got to get up here, and my boots come off. They come up here, and then move that one over there, and then this one foot on there, over there. So it's quite a performance, but it's necessary. In the summer in a drought it's quite a performance watering the plants, because this is where the water we have for all of the plants here. But of course pond water is way more nutritious than tap water. So now I'm going to carry this off down to the pond. I meant down to the slop quarry puddle. I'll probably need more buckets than this, but we are due to have some rain apparently, so maybe just 2 will be enough for now, because I haven't really finished this bit. Yes, a bit of a drop in the ocean. 2 buckets, but that's enough to dig a load more buckets of slop, so that should do for now. Out of the slop I had cut, I've just got 2 buckets and a little bit extra, so I'm going to need to cut some more in a minute, but for now I'll just carry these 2 down. Whoa. Whoa. So this is going to go about here somewhere. And I've kind of left this little ledge here so I can finish this last bit, but I might kind of leave it, I'm not sure. But it's going to stay there for now, so here. So first bit's going to go just there. The higher the bank gets, the more of a performance it is getting stuff up there. Bit of a swing, ooh. And then I'll put that one a bit further over. So I've got room to put the other one. And then this one there should be room for up there. And each bucket does make a difference. Of course, the further up the bank you get, the smaller it is, because it's sloping inwards. So the bottom bit takes the most soil, but then on the other side, the higher up you get, the more difficult it is to get material up there. So this one, woo, and a bit of a swing, and whoa, up like that. But now I've got nowhere to stand to get there, so I need to move that one over a bit and get up there, and woo, and yeah, these can go here. So that one, go like that, and I'll try and make sure that none falls down. Doesn't matter too much. Scrape anything off there, and put that one in there, and this is all the lumpy stuff. It holds together really quite well. but just to smooth off the excess slop, and squish out the air pockets, bash it a little bit, like if it was concrete or something, and then just squish that all into place there. And this one needs smoothing a bit. It's a bit saggy, but what you can do, if you've got a bit of saggy bit, is get like a nice dryish lump and just squish it into the saggy bit, and that sort of stops it from sagging. That's a bit big, but just bash it in and then smooth it over, and that seems to be right. A bit of a saggy bit there, got a nice sort of dry bit, and nice and level. Because I haven't got to put another layer on it, but that's the actual level. So I want to come along and put a bit more there, but that should do for now. And then here, this is like a sloping bit here, and I was thinking of having maybe another turf there. So here, I'm going to use some of this slop to just put here, just put it kind of loosely, with a kind of just slightly sloping upwards as it goes in, just as a squishy surface to put a turf there, and enough for sort of support from behind it, and then I've got a bit left to put in between it and the next turf. So whoa, I'm gonna find a turf. Here, this bamboo cane is marking the edge of this main driveway path road thing, and just removing turfs up to it and using it as a marker. These turfs are very good for building banks with, and also really close to the bank. And I sort of cut them out good sort of right size to kind of fit for wherever they go. And cut all the way around, and then sort of prise them out like that, and then like roll it over sort of upside down like that, and then when I put it on the bank, this side here, which is like sloping, is going to go on the outside, so it's got a sloping, so it's like not going to overhang or anything, and then this overhangy side on the other side, that's going to face inwards and be supported by slop and bits of broken soil and all sorts. So I just pick it up like that and then carry it over to here. And then we have the performance of getting it up there. A bit tricky. So maybe support my weight with my knee and lob it up there like that. Get rid of one of those buckets, and then work out how to get up, so I can't step there anymore. Like that. Whoa. And it's quite a big turf, this one. Might have to put it long ways. I think or I could fit it in there. So turn it around like that, so this side's facing outwards, and squish it down into the slop, and a bit of slop to support it at the back here. It doesn't wobble too much, and then sort of squish this up here, and sort of all the way around, so it's all supported from all sides, and then some at the front to join it up to there. That should look good, and all this will grass over after about 6 months. It'll be completely grassed over. Before that it will be kind of in the process of, so very, very quickly it sort of starts to get things growing on it. You can see on the lower bits how the grass is growing on it, and that's like about varying degrees of age. Some of it's, the very bottom bit's about a year old, and some of those bits are about 3 months old, but of course it does grass over much more slowly in dry or cold weather. There. Now I have to get some more slop. Just make sure all these bits are nicely squashed down, and then go get the other one. It's always essential to have a bucket of water to wash your hands with, because when you have to go and change jobs and dig with a tool, you don't want to get the handle all muddy. and it's just really handy to have a kind of bucket of water handy. It's really good. As I'm working up here removing the turfs, I'm also working down this way, cutting up here into the soil into a slop quarry. So I've got these like two different products out of the same thing, and eventually they will meet, and then I'll sort of mark out with bamboo canes and mark out this this like road driveway path thing. But for now I'm just sort of making this right in the middle where I know the road's going to go, and then I can kind of neaten it off later. And then with the soil I got left, I can sort of build structures on the way down like these ones. So I'm going to just remove these out of the way and get pickaxe. This soil is very kind of poor quality and very high clay, but the clay is really good for building banks with. Sandy soil's a bit more challenging. If I had a sandy soil, I'd put a rock face on it probably, like rocks sort of like this way up, facing inwards, so any rain goes in. But you can get away with doing a mud bank with sand, it's just you have to repair it quite a bit. Here it's just brilliant to just hold together really well. Different sort of soils would take different amounts of time to kind of soak up the water. This one takes quite a while, so I like break up these big chunks and then smash them up a bit into loads of little bits, and then I leave them to soak for, I don't know, at least an hour, and then they're kind of nice and pliable, and I can sort of mix them in with some of this ultra slop here. And sometimes I use the ultra slop on its own, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that today. Just to finish it off, probably I can get away with just using this, maybe just mixed with a bit of that, and sort of try and cut it to kind of neat looking edges, and it just each time I do another bit, it's another foot further down, so this gets closer to where I'm building, so it's less to move, and less distance to carry it. It's more difficult if there's big lumps in it. The smaller the lumps, the better. Let's just sort of break it up, and also kind of dig it round a bit, kind of mixes it with the ultra slop a bit more, and takes a bit off the bottom. Just generally increases it and makes it much more pliable. Any big lumps that you've missed get kind of dug up as well, and that's kind of a good thing to do as you're doing it. I also try and keep this level with the contours here, so that it does trap as much water as possible in it. If I sort of go off contour, it tends to kind of empty more quickly, so it's nice to keep it nice and level. The amount I cut in one go is usually kind of dependent on how far I've got to lean over to pickaxe here. And when you get like so much, you've got to lean more and it's less comfortable. So usually about kind of that much at a time. And whilst I'm leaving this to just soak in a little bit, I'll go and cut some turfs. This far side is the only bit that still needs any turfs. And I'd have to like raise it up with slop to about here, because this bit's too thin, and here it's like wider, so a turf could sit there, and it's like maybe 1, 2 maybe, and jam some more slop under there. Maybe some of these, if there's like a bit where there's like some slop oozing out, then sort of just stuffing a kind of dry lump into there really stabilizes it well. Just some squishes into place where I just put that there. So yeah, so the plan is here, a layer of slop here, it doesn't matter if it's lumpy because it's quite a big deep bit, and then turf, and then just filling it up behind. So I sort of just mark them up the size I want them, and of course this bamboo cane marks the end of this road here. So just to think about that kind of size maybe. Just cut one that side. I'll do 3 just so I know I've got enough, because if I only need 2 I can break the other one up and use it as part of the infill bit. And they're quite big here, the soil's quite deep here. Just dislodge that. Another one there. These are pretty big. I think I'll probably only need the 2. And then when it's all cut all the way around, just gently kind of lift it up. And huge. So hopefully now the soil would have soaked a bit. I always like to arrange the buckets comfortably, so I can easily shovel them in. So not right on the edge of the cliff because they can collapse, but you know, at least 4 inches back. And I always like to carry them in pairs, because carrying one bucket, I think, is more energy than carrying 2. If you're carrying 2, then you're sort of nicely balanced. But if you're carrying 1, it's like, oh, it's really way more work. So I always like to carry them in pairs. So I kind of put them also where, you know, I can stand between them, easily pick them up, and I just sort of kind of find that really convenient. So I'm going to put those 2 there and start shoveling. This could have soaked a little bit more, but you can kind of speed up the process a bit by just kind of turning it over a bit, and also just scooping up some of this like ultra slop here, which is like caused as we walk over the puddle. It's all just loose, really gloopy slop, and just mixing that in as well sometimes helps. It depends how wet you want it really, and what you want it for. So yeah, just get it all into the buckets, and tip off any excess water because you don't really want that. If you get a nice full shovel full, about 2.5 to fill up a bucket, but don't always get a completely full one. This ultra slop is very kind of useful, just like to scrape it off like that, and then it just you just push it onto the shovel like this, and then I'll put that separately in there in case I need any, but also because some of this isn't set properly, I'm going to just scrape up a bit more of it, and just a bit, a bit more, and just put it in with that one because that one's a bit lumpy. I'll just put the shovel back over there, and we're off. This time I'm going to have to go around the far side of the bank, which is a bit more precarious. And then of course it's just put them down somewhere nearby and work out the logistics of how I'm going to get this slop up here. This bit's very steep, so I can't kind of put a bucket there, although I could balance one on my foot. But I think I'm going to just drag it to there, which is the closest kind of level bit, and just get a few kind of handfuls, and I could break it up a bit as well if it's in lumps and things. But lumps don't matter too much for this bit. And then just sort of pick up a load and squash it where I want it to go, and just sort of plonk it there in a way that it's not sort of collapsing, but I'm going to sort of wait till I've got a load there before I sort of squash it down and that. Also underneath that bit I need some, and then when the bucket's sort of a bit more comfortable to carry, I can tip it up here. Tipping the whole bucket is more likely to just collapse and roll down the side of the bank, and that's good. I can squish a load of this into this bit here, finished surface area, and up to here, which sort of completes that bit, and then That bit is finished to there, and now it's got to get this bit prepared for the turfs to go on it. And then kind of the same again with the other bucket, just drag it as close as it will go, and turn this up a bit, and just a little bit up there. Should be enough in here, hopefully there will be. Whoa, a bit behind there, any bits drop off up and back again, and just sort of try and squish it down into a nice kind of nice level lump that the turf can sit on top of, and that should be just a bit more there, and that can be this stuff. Whoa, whoa. Make sure it doesn't collapse down, and then that can be squished into place. Everything here is all set, so it's only a very thin squishy layer. That's quite a lot there, so there's a bit more to go over here. Just break it up a bit so that when I put a turf on it will squish in. But I could put a little thin layer of very runny slop on top of this. Just all the way down, so it's nice and level, and then sloping upwards just slightly, ready for the turfs to go on. And this is like sloping to 45 degrees, and then just wipe the excess sloppiness off it, and then I can come a bit further over and just make sure that bit's nice. There's a lumpy bits, any kind of really squishy bits, to stick a kind of lumpy bit in there, and that's looking nice. Of course, it's not good to do this before heavy rain. A bit of rain's alright. If it's like a massive prolonged downpour, newly built banks can suffer, but even then they're usually alright and easy to repair if they do collapse, but never repair them when they're all saturated. Wait till they dry a bit. Right, but hopefully that won't happen. We are due to have some rain, but I think this will be fine. They do dry very quickly, but if it's wet or cold, they dry more slowly. So dry hot weather, they set like within hours, but in cold freezing weather they might take a few weeks. I think these turfs might be a little bit on the large side, so I'm going to just cut some smaller turfs. Sometimes, especially fiddly little bits on the tops of banks, you just need more made to measure turfs. That should be about right size, I think. Maybe just like that. With a weird angle, that's okay. Always break bits off that you don't want, and then prise that out. That could be one of them, and then the other one. Ooh, if there's like a difficult bit, just put the spade halfway on instead of all the way on, like that. That usually goes through. If there's stones in the soil, the wetter the soil is, the more likely the stones are just to move to the side. If it's very dry, not so good. So about that kind of wide, I think, today, and then that should do. Although thinking about it and having looked at it again, I reckon one small one and one big one. I reckon I could fit one of these really big ones in there. So just get that one up. I'm hopeful anyway. Right, that way around. Good position. And whoa! Right, I think, yeah, that should fit all right. I need to get up there. How do I do that? That's dry enough. Step on that. It's a bit squishy there, but I have to do. Right, that can move over a bit to there. A bit more slop can go into this side. Just break some of these overhanging back bits off and crumble them up to support it for now. And then this slop squished up to here, like so. Bit of slop, spare slop here, just to go up along the side here. There's no air pockets underneath it because it's all sitting on slop. And then this bit here can kind of squish down there, and then I can put some more slop there. That's good. So this space here, I can fit one of the smaller bits. Right, and then just a bit of slop on top, and that's finished. I think I'm going to have to come down this side. Whoa! And I think I'll put this smaller turf then, probably over from that side as well. It's much smaller, that one. And I think it'll be easier just to get over from here. Up there, and then, well, and then, how did I do it before? Oh yeah, whoa. Right. And then this one can go over here. That's much better. So just somewhere kind of comfortable and lift it into position. Ooh. And again, it just squishes in, air pocket's kind of gone, and then just break up the stuff behind it, and like bash that in, like that, and maybe that overhangy bit, just break all these pieces in here, and make sure this slop here is all squished up. A few other spare bits of slop there, just to go there and just smooth it in and make sure there's no little air pockets or anything. But of course it is sitting on slop, and now I just need to get some more slop. So now all the turfs are in place. It's just a question of filling these gaps up with slop and then filling this up, and then we'll be done. Just a few more of these to go. Probably have to cut a bit more slop here, but the end is in sight now. Access is easier from this side, so I suppose if I can get it in from this side and tip it over, like that, and then just kind of tip it in, and then I can get up there and put it exactly where I want it to go. That's one. Just scoop all these bits out, put it in there. And the other one, which I think I could just put up there, and then I'll get up there. This end bit's very tricky at the moment because it's all just slop. I can't really step on them because they've only just been put there, but I'm going to have to because there's nowhere else to step. Just very, very lightly and put my weight here. And then I can just get some of this slop, break it up nicely, and just turn it around a little bit more. It's a bit lumpy. Sort of bigger lumpy bits I can just put in behind, save breaking them up. And then I can put some of this like towards these like gap bits here, and then I can squish them into place in a bit, maybe from down there, maybe from up here, I'm not sure, but like that little bit there, let's just break that up a bit more. A bit more there for support, and then some nice kind of broken up stuff just to sort of go there, and that sort of a bit more kind of runnier stuff there, and that kind of creates a bit more slope. There's a bit more actual finished surface area there. So now it's just like here, and then I guess I'll put this rest of this bucket just in the back there, squish it down a bit, and just get the air pockets out very carefully there because I don't want it kind of collapsing. And then get another bucket, I suppose. Just squish what I've put here so far down, and get this bucket, a few more buckets down this side, and just put them as close as possible again, and then in here, and that's once the edge is done, then it's just filling up the middle bit, which is much more easy. And then behind that one there, and I'll move this a bit closer. And, some of this is breaking up a bit. This is a little bit too lumpy, so I'm just going to add a little bit of this ultra slop. Just mix it in just a little bit, it just makes it loads more fluid. Maybe just a little bit more. With too much it would be unstable. Just put that over there, and then just get some more up here, like that. It's got some leaves and organic matter are quite good in with it. There's quite a few leaves all in with this mud. And just smooth this extra gloopy stuff off, and break some of these dry bits up, make it a little less groupy now, and that one there, mash it into place. That's pretty much the edge is done almost, and then this bit can be tipped up there like that, give it a shake, and then scoop out some of this mud from here, just chuck that in there, and then that's all of the mud. So need to go and cut some more turf and hopefully get it done before it gets dark. A little bit of a race against time. Hopefully I won't be finishing this video with my head torch. And I put this back over there, and get that again, and then go to another level. And of course each level is then less distance to cover the buckets. But I want to have to cheat a bit here and mix it with a bit of ultra slop, because if I wait for it to dry it will be dark. Smash it up a bit better than I would have done before, and dig it in more with this underneath stuff. Still going to leave it to soak for a little bit, and smash up the slot, and this, all this grass in with it will help, and the bits that are closer to the surface will grow and help it to establish quicker, and of course the grass all holds it together really well. I'm also going to cut a little corner here and just cut a bit of this turf here from the downside of this slop quarry puddle, because it's quite saturated, more squishy and pliable. So get a nice little chunk of that, and it's way more squishy, and you could sort of just build a bank with these. It's not quite wet enough, but when the turfs are really saturated you can just build a bank with them and them alone. Alright, and just squish that into there, save mixing up stuff. You just break it up a bit, mix it down, and then there's less kind of bucket slop to put there. It's really getting dark now, but all we've got left to do now is just the topping bit. So just swing and whoa, and push that one over there, and see how many I can fit up there, and there maybe. I'll get those two up, and then I'll put some more there. So it's deciding where to put it. I suppose if I do that end first, then I'll have somewhere to step. So just tip this out, and that one there. Ooh. And don't really need to raise it much here, if any. Just break it up, and make it into the right kind of size. Doesn't matter if it's sloping a bit, especially there. I think I don't want to raise that bit up anymore. Like so. Quite a bit needs breaking up here, so I think I might just jump down and get the ultra slop. Just get the last bits out of this bucket, and then put this ultra slop here, and just tip a few bits in to make it a bit more runny. Much easier to work with, because I'm only topping. This is only top bit, so it's not going to be like a bit that needs to be held up and sturdy. It can be a bit runny. I think that's probably enough. I'll get back up there again, and that should squish into place much better now. Just there's a few air pockets there. Move this kind of gooey stuff around, and that's looking better. A bit more gloopy stuff there, and then that can just go to there like that, slope upwards. And then this side here needs a bit more. Alright, so that's done. That side's done. Just a bit more there, and then these bits here. A bit more patted down there. Alright, and I'll get a bit more slop. That one out of the way, and then this one, whoa, like that, and a bit more ultra slop in this one, maybe a couple of handfuls, and that one could go up there, and then come up there, and I wonder if this is going to be enough, or I might need a bit more slop. So here on this side, just a little bit, just a few handfuls there, just to make it to the shape. I mean, this is like a woodland feature, so it's not like doesn't have the restrictions of a field boundary. I can make it a bit more shapely here. So a nice little sloping bit there's fine, and that bit's done. Just to smooth that off a bit, and that bit, and then this bit can go here, and put that over there. Now that's fairly kind of sloppy, so I could have it sloping from there, so less chance of collapsing, because here it's really technically I'm doing 2 layers, so I'll be a bit more careful here. But there, just go up to kind of there and slope inwards. That can slope inwards a bit more as well. That means I need less slop, and there, nice little slope. It's like a north-facing slope, and they're sort of good places to have snowdrops, because they really like north-facing slopes, especially northeast. That's all the deep bits done. That's just really kind of smoothing this over as much area as possible, but I think I'm going to definitely need another bucket or 2, probably not too many. Right, and then break it up a bit, squish it in, and then that's fine there, bit more squishy stuff there, and that's there, that's all that bit done, and that's a bit lumpy, break that up, and push that down, and here, I think that could just go to that height there, and then all that bit's done, so yeah, squish it down a bit, and that makes it spread over a bit more, and then that bit, and that's then all this bit here finished. So now just this little bit here, so another 2 buckets and it should be done. So this should be the last 2 buckets here. Right, one, like that, whoa, and then the other up like this, whoa, whoa. And then let me get up there, and yeah, it should be just enough. I think this one. So in here like that, and yeah, there should be plenty out here, and just probably shred that down a bit and break it up. I might only need half of this other bucket, you'll have to see. It's quite lumpy, so to bash it a bit, and like that, and a bit over there, like so, maybe a bit more of this, and just squash it on. But if I'm treading it down, I don't want to step too close to the edges because it's all kind of soft and squishy, a bit like that. It doesn't matter if the top layer is a bit lumpy because the rain will eventually settle it down, and that bit's a bit high. That could do with a nice bit of squashiness there. Oh, there's a little bit of that side. Could do with going there. Oh, look at that. Well, I've been doing this for about a year, I think, altogether, but it's been in like spurts. I've had other things to do in between. But it's nice when you get a project finished. Of course, I haven't finished the valley bit. That's kind of like a separate project though. The bank is now just moments away from being completed. Still got a bit of slop to spare there, a bit more there, and just bash that down a bit. Doesn't matter if it's a bit bumpy in places, it's still going to be woodland. Just a little bit more there, and voila. Still got just a little bit of slop left over for something else. Just take that down from there, and that one down to there. I'll just give it a little final check. Just one final kind of smooth over as the last bits of daylight fade. Right, that's great. And when it's sort of set very soon, a week or so, then I'll plant this as woodland. Well, that's great. I'm so pleased I finished it just in time. Well, so I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please ask, and I shall see you next time.